Bucket of hot dogs? Check. Butt massager engaged? Check. Then let the video games begin.
It's November 26, 2016. This is the PUGCast. You are the internet. I am Kevin, aka Neon Nazgul, and this is the 28th episode of the Operation Pug podcast. Joining me, Andrew, aka Bat Phantom.
Hey, kids.
And Jamie, aka Scumboy.
Good evening.
Mixing it up.
Yep.
Threw me right the fuck off.
I knew.
Right off the bat. It's important. I don't know what's happening
Gotta keep
right
you
now.
on your toes, son.
That's fair.
That was
that.
a perfect intro.
You think so?
Yeah, that was well picked.
I
It was the
cannot
first take, I swear.
play video games while my butt's being massaged. I haven't tried. I have a feeling it would be way too
you have,
distracting.
but you can't. You don't know. You have no empirical evidence.
I feel
This
pretty
is the
confident.
internet. We need empirical
I
evidence.
would just kind of lose myself into the butt massage.
Reddit is deeply disappointed in
Yeah.
you.
I'll tell you, I did in the Black Friday sales. There was one of those Panasonic massage chairs for like $2,000 off, so it was only
So
$1,798.
was it like a gaming chair?
No, it wasn't marketed as such. I'm sure that they could easily turn it that way, but it was basically just one of those. It was one of those ones that does like full on calf massage and like a shiatsu style massage. And I'm just sitting there going, don't press the send button. No.
I want it to be like a 1920s cartoon where like the robot hands with the gloves on the end come out. And
Yeah, that would have been.
No, it would
That
just
would've
be
been
spiky
Insta-buy.
manipulators.
Yeah.
that's
if they'd be
that's
more
very 80s.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
like Johnny Fine.
I almost dropped $2,000 on that, so we'll talk more about what I did drop $2,000 on.
Okay,
later.
how much did you pay for your T-shirt? T-shirt check.
Hey-oh! This is a T-Fury. I'm not sure if it's on the camera or not, but this is one of my favorites.
More or less.
I
yeah.
live, I die.
You're hidden by
No,
the mic.
I roll.
I roll, I die, I roll again.
That's
Like,
good.
I roll, I die, I live again.
That's real good.
I roll, I die, I roll again.
That's high
I
nerd
thought there was
cred.
live in there somewhere, but
No,
it is proper.
It's all
It's got the nice war boy.
Emerton Joe.
It's fun to think about the war boys playing D&D in off times. There's a whole movie right there.
Pretty good.
I want you to re-record Starboy, but as Warboy.
I'm a motherfucking war boy.
There's the soundbite.
Yeah, that's right.
Look what you done.
Look what you done.
I'm a motherfucking
What
war
do we
boy.
got? We got.
I am wearing my
Welcome to the off-world colonies.
it's got everything. It says helping America into the new world.
Oh, dear.
It's just Scimitar
that
Dominguez
true?
Corporation.
Make America great again by leaving the planet.
It's the off-world
I
colonies.
volunteer.
So this actually appeared on the blimp in Blade Runner, and
Alright.
they recreated it for the shirt.
Yeah.
So this actual whole logo and everything actually appeared in the movie at one point.
I was always fascinated by the marketing side, just referring to it as off-world, like it's actually the name of the place.
Yep.
It's just more of a get the fuck off the planet situation as opposed to
Because I'll bet you there's got to be more because it says off-world colonies plural,
Yeah,
so
yes.
there's got to be more than one.
So is the
Well, I mean,
corporation called
So
off-world?
it doesn't matter
No,
where you
it's
go.
It's owned by the Scimitar Dominguez Corporation.
Okay, and for marketing purposes, they just refer to it
As the off-world
off-world.
colonies. I think they refer to it as a group, like anything not on Earth.
When
the
I,
Schwinn group.
I'd like to believe that the sequel's going to address some of that. I have a feeling it's going to be very grounded, but I'd love to. I mean, if they want to kick off in a universe, I mean, the Blade Runner world certainly seems to have a lot of stories to tell, and I'd be very interested to see more about, ships on fire off the
Shoulder of Orion.
of Orion. So
Yes.
So before we get to news, we have one announcement to make.
yep.
We are going to take December off, so you're spared this for about a month.
About a month.
I think you've all got other things to do for the month of December.
Yeah, well, I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, there's
there's-
holidays and traveling and blah blah blah.
There's
So
27 other podcasts they can be listening to too. They got to catch up.
only 27.
Yeah.
I think I have 27 on my feed.
Yeah, well, the 27
Oh,
of
he means
our
of ours.
podcast.
Our podcast.
Yeah.
Wow, that one.
That went south. Well, yeah. See,
It's all good,
I've
baby.
only had one.
I know it's you're just priming the pump right now.
Yeah.
Tasty.
So yeah.
Wait, do we do a beverage check? We should do a beverage check for
well,
you guys.
but we always drink the same thing.
No, we
No,
don't.
you switched it up before.
We've had whiskey sours.
Yeah, but we're always drinking just that. Like we never change
But do
it
it.
up.
Give them a quick taste of what you're drinking here, because you do such a great job.
Jamie
with
and
it.
I are
wish
drinking Caesars.
yeah,
Again,
but-
so
So
we
what-
always drink Caesars.
But they're good Caesars.
They're okay. Yeah, they're good Caesars.
They're damn good Caesars.
It's not Clamato and
What we need
shitty
to do-
vodka.
The secret is horseradish.
What the secret really is horseradish. What we need to do is bring the camera into the kitchen for the spread of Caesars, so they
We'll-
can
maybe-
see what goes into
We
it.
gotta get some B-roll.
That's right. Use that as like an SCTV intro to the podcast.
One thing I have to do, this is not good for the podcast. One thing I do have to do is, now that we've got like an active YouTube channel, is you have like
a channel bumper.
Well, yeah, the channel bumper, like like, here's, for the first time coming there, here's the intro with the channel. So I really got to put together one of those. So maybe we can include the cocktail stuff. No, that's probably illegal somewhere.
It's not where it was recorded though. So
the Wild West of the internet.
Yeah. So anyway, this is it for 2016. Fuck you, 2016.
Holy sweet baby Jesus.
God.
And,
I mean, I called it coming in, and I still think it's got a whole month left to go. But it hasn't.
We can just skip it. Yeah. We can just go right to the next. We don't have to do this anymore. Please. Okay. And on that note, because it's appropriate, let's hop on into news.
Please tell me no one died this week.
Really?
Funny story.
Really? Have you not been on social media in the past 3 hours?
So I jumped on Twitter after I read the Google Doc, and I'm like, you are shitting me. Because I completely missed the notice of...
Yeah, so, and this literally happened like 3 or 4 hours ago. The news dropped that Ron Glass has died, age 71. Famous, of course, for being in Barney Miller and Firefly. Awesome actor. Great loss.
Yeah.
Fuck you, 2016.
71. I mean, they didn't say cause of death, but
respiratory failure.
Oh,
it was an update.
All right.
Yeah.
Shitty.
I mean, it's not that surprising. This is the thing about the whole celebrity death harvest is like, yeah, some of them have been surprises like Prince and Bowie, but like a lot of them are,
You know what they all had in common? The 60s.
Yes.
Well, that's what I've noticed is like the whole Bowie, at 66, he lived an accelerated life, shall we say, and now the Reapers come to pay to pick up the check. And it's just gonna get so much worse in the next couple of months and years.
Well, that's it. I don't think it's not gonna end in 2017.
No, well, shit.
I think everything's fine.
It's not like people are gonna stop dying, but my God, I think this year has been the year where people have really been focusing on it, and I think after this, everybody's gonna get a little more numb about it, and because we're gonna lose so many celebrities because we've created so many celebrities in the last. That's a good point.
There's like a maximum density.
I mean,
critical.
I had an idea years ago of doing a TV program just talking about the people who have died, and you could basically make it daily at this point, where you could really talk about people that may have been just had one moment 30 years ago, and we still remember them for. Let alone the titans that are dropping dead. I mean, sure. The thing about Fidel Castro's death was somebody pointed out that in the major newspapers. Out of I think it was 5 of the major newspapers, 4 of the guys who wrote the obituaries were no longer working with the newspaper, and one of them was dead. Fidel Castro outlived the guy who wrote his obituary, and this is where we are. I mean, it was. Remember years ago, CNN accidentally gave access to their webpage where it showed all of their pre-written bios of all the people who they assumed were going to die in the near future, and I'm absolutely certain that Castro was one of those. But anyway, there's a whole.
That's one of the ones you have in the chamber.
Yeah, and you could constantly be in a state of mourning, is what I'm trying to get to, because of the fact that all of these actors. Well, this is it, and all of these actors that we grew up with are going to start dying off very rapidly, and it's never going to stop. I mean, I just can't imagine though being 60 years from now being crushed over the death of a Vine star from today.
Maybe that's it. That's the next generation's body harvest. Is going to be.
But there's no hyper accelerated.
Died today.
Yeah, exactly.
Excessive hair.
Known
gel.
for 76 trillion views on YouTube, and yet nobody knows what he did.
Here we are, a brand new YouTube channel. We're dissing PewDiePie already. That's a good move.
Shout out to PewDiePie.
Hey,
can't even say his fucking name right. PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Howdy ho! That's all I ever hear when I think of his
all right. That's it. Next.
All right. No more dead people talk.
That's not necessarily true, because Hello Games has broken their silence.
Now, all right. You know what? I'm still going to defend. I'm going to defend these guys. No. They got blindsided. I mean, the game got more attention than they ever thought it would, and then it turned out to be a good game, but not anywhere close to what people thought it was going to be, and they were responsible for a little too much hype, and then it just became I mean, the echo chamber just turned into a deafening roar of hatred, and the negativity was just incredible.
So maybe walk it back prior to release.
And this is it, you know. And Sony certainly was probably going, no, you guys got this. You guys got this. Like, this is going to be a great game.
It's not like it surprised them that the game came out like this. Like, oh my god, they put out the pre-alpha as the
and that's it. I mean, it wasn't rushed, and they basically went into hermit mode. I mean, as soon as the onslaught began, and they were updating, and they updated a couple. There was like 7 updates, I think, before they finally went radio silent. And they fixed bugs here and there. It was still crashing. I'm not defending the state of the game, but I mean, we don't know if it was really rushed or if they had other ideas. And now basically people have beaten them into submission where they really didn't want to talk about anything.
That's just it. There's a no-win situation for them. If they say silent, or they say something, it doesn't matter. The only thing that they can do is like just release a big giant patch full of stuff and go, okay, guys, here. Right, that's the only thing they can do. And apparently, that's what they're doing.
Right. Well, this foundation update that they're talking about isn't even complete. It's literally laying the foundation for what they want to do.
They were clear. This is the first step of many.
And then but the idea of doing bases in this game kind of seems like anathema, given the setup.
You're supposed to be moving on.
Exactly. Yeah. The whole point is to get to the center of the galaxy.
But is it?
Well, this is it, and maybe that's part of the transition.
Because so many people have done that, and
been disappointed. I never did.
Are we doing spoilers?
I'd rather. You know what? I'd still like to stay relatively cool on that. But I'm sure it's nothing game changing, literally, or really fascinating.
What if they overpromise in the patch?
Then they just walk away.
Yeah,
and this is it.
Then bits of Reddit melt.
I remember
that's what happens.
I remember promises of regular content updates where they were going to change things, and yet I don't know if I actually looked it up. I don't know if I could actually find evidence of this, or if it was just people were just, well, of course they're going to have free updates.
That's one of the problems with the whole trajectory of the game, was that people were just reading into things that they didn't necessarily say. I mean, when you break it down, yes, Sean Murray did directly say things are in the game that are not in the game. Right. That is a fact.
Yep.
But not as much as people assumed.
Yeah.
Right.
Did Sean Murray make any of this announcement? Was it associated with him, or
no?
Was
I don't
just
think
like a Hello Games.
It was Hello Games,
the official Hello Games.
Yeah, it was not. It did not come from Sean Murray directly.
But he's like in a bunker.
Well, this is it. Now, here's the thing, though.
Did he ever exist?
They sold. They sold a lot of copies, so they made a lot of money, and they are a very small studio. So it would make sense that they would have been able to put some of that money back into the game to increase this content. Now they had, again, I'm remembering it as being referred to as free DLC or free extra content, because especially since people paid $80 Canadian for the game, it would only make sense they would have free updates a la Witcher 3 and maybe some extra packs to really beef up some content. But it was with all this money, you would think they could put it back into it and actually start delivering on the promise that they had, and then everybody could shut up and go, oh shit, all right, no, our bad, I'm wrong, you guys totally stepped up, and 6 months, a year later, and that's really going to be. But I don't think anybody wants to give them a chance at this point.
I think the witch hunt has progressed to the point where anything is going to be seen as, well, it's not giant fucking dinosaurs in that first trailer, is it, Sean Murray?
Yeah, and that comes back to my bigger problem with this whole hype situation is the gamers' response. I mean, the sheer wave of ultra negativity, and it's not just this game too. I mean, the reactions people had to the new Call of Duty game were just the vitriol, just based on nothing. It was just, how dare you not do a World War II game, I guess is what they were saying. I mean,
things are different. Oh God.
Well, it was just building and building and building, and I guess for whatever reason, when they went further into the future, people snapped.
They've done now, near future, slightly less near future, kind of further out future, and now this is future.
Right. But still, it's just another game. It's not like they didn't promise that this was going to change the world, and it just turned out to be another Call of Duty game. And people just, they're angry and they want something different, but they can't
Are they
elaborate.
tired of the millstone that is Call of Duty every
and this
every
is it.
year?
It's annualized, and even Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft kind of went, hey, you know what? And you could even argue that they didn't do that because they've got the movie coming out, so the franchise is still in everybody's mind.
Yeah.
But they've at least realized we need to pull back. And I don't know, in this situation with what happened to Hello Games and then it comes back to how many people are we really talking about that were super angry about this? Like, is it actually just a few hundred really loud gamers who just constantly screamed about it
Usually.
and gave the illusion of a million gamers that were angry? Or was it really several million people who were disappointed in this? And this is the real problem, is it's hard to track this stuff, and it's very frustrating.
Well, you can look at the number of Steam players, and it's gone from hundreds of thousands to under 1,000.
Was it hundreds of thousands?
There was one day where it was literally 0.
Yeah,
right. But I mean, I played it on PS4, and I'm sure it was pushed as a PlayStation game. So
Yes,
when they even
because
did a
Sony,
PC
right,
version,
yeah.
right? And when they did a PC version, immediately I was a little surprised by that. I thought for sure it was going to be
well, there was also the problem that PC version was a hot garbage fire
exactly
for the first while.
You know, and that was So it's all part of the conversation, and it's very. It's crazy, and I don't like where we stand as a community, the way people are responding to this, and you know, we've got other great communities like the PSVR community on Reddit, which is so fucking positive. It's terrifying for something that was supposed, like, I thought for sure this was going to be a target of hate and rage, and oh my god, this isn't delivering. And it's the most peaceful, joyous location.
It totally
I don't
is.
know. It could be partly just really good moderation, or everybody's just in a better mood about it because it actually turned out to be really good.
And part of it is, I think, cultural forces in that the PSVR subreddit is known for being cool and friendly and helpful,
Mature.
And that has like become the culture of the subreddit. Whereas in the No Man's Sky subreddit,
Jesus,
it's just known for absolute vitriol.
And
So-
witch hunts, yeah.
And I'm sure the Call of Duty subreddit is probably the same way, too.
you might as well just go to 4chan.
Sure. Yeah. So, and I don't know. I just don't like seeing the negativity be the story of these stories and these games.
So we'll see.
And,
I mean, I will definitely download the thing and try it out and see what's up.
I don't even know, to make myself a hypocrite, I don't even know if I'm going to fire it up immediately once this new patch hits, unless I hear that there is some real change. I mean, again, base building does not sell me. I mean, I was interested in exploration. So the idea of base building,
That's a step backwards.
unless base building is going to make me explore better, which is possible.
So the two things that they said they're really working towards are base building and capital ships. And
Sure.
I think the base building is part of the capital ships thing.
Right.
This is
No,
where you make your capital
okay.
ships. Right?
And that makes some sense because the ship, the space element is definitely grossly undercooked based on the way it looks and feels. There definitely should be more going on there, and it's extremely simplistic. But anyway,
And that's that. So we hope it goes well. And last news item, which is a good thing, although kind of pointless to talk about now because by the time this is released, this will have happened. Rogue One tickets go on sale Monday the 28th, which is the day this podcast is going out. So as you're listening and or watching this now, it's probably too late. But
it's weird. I don't understand. They have done a very poor job historically of setting up pre-sales for movie tickets, and I'm kind of glad about it. I mean, because I'm always way too on point about getting movie tickets. I mean, I have stalked the Cineplex site before for getting tickets going back to The Hobbit and films like that. As soon as they were really online, and Cineplex has historically been very lax about their times for these things, and even for Rogue One. I mean, IMAX has said 12:01 a.m. Monday, which is basically Sunday night. In Cineplex, I don't even know if they've publicly said. The website says tickets on sale Monday, but it doesn't say when on Monday. So I will be a fucking wreck all day Monday waiting for the goddamn tickets to go on sale. And I've done this, and every 5 minutes I'm back on Cineplex, refreshing Thursday the 15th, going.
you've got to be able to set up a bot or something.
Now, if Doctor Strange was the latest I have waited to see a Marvel film. I have seen every Marvel film I saw on the very first showing, if not the first day or earlier. I mean, in terms of when it was available. And from Doctor Strange, I was excited about it, but I somehow missed the on sale date, and I ended up not seeing it until Saturday afternoon, and that was fine because, again, it's advanced seating. You know exactly where you're going to be. And I guess I also wasn't worried about spoilers. And I shouldn't be worried about spoilers for Rogue One because it's not like it's going to have a secret connection to all these other films. It's just a goddamn movie. Shout out to Gary Whitta, writer of co-writer of Rogue One. I love your
gang signs over there with Kevin. I don't know what's going on.
We got a camera. We got to do something with it.
When is the actual movie? Like what?
December 16th.
Okay, I will be in the city for that.
Yeah. Thursday, December 15th is when
we're gonna hit
the
our
first
usual
show.
problem of like, I don't want to see it 3D. I really don't.
That's true. The IMAX version will absolutely be 3D.
Yeah,
and
that's a
if
problem.
that's a factor, then yeah, that'll have to.
I mean,
There's probably going to be VIP.
The only reason that we were able to get tickets for opening day for Force Awakens was because we didn't want to see it in 3D. Yeah. So maybe there's an upside.
So there'll probably be VIP 2D screenings. They usually do a 3D and a 2D for a film like this, so you should be able to get tickets for that for the Young and Dundas.
We should. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm definitely going to the IMAX 3D the Thursday night. That's a given. I love IMAX 3D. I'm a huge IMAX. Shout out to IMAX.
If you could score me a ticket, I'll
absolutely. I'm going to try to get the 8 basically, and I'm going to try to get them as close to the middle as possible. But again, the problem is that now that they've said 12:01 a.m., Cineplex is just going, fuck, because that site is going down once this comes out, and I do not think that their system is designed to take an onslaught, and that's one of the reasons why they're not going to give it time.
But they survived Force Awakens. I mean, really.
But again, they didn't say exactly what time. With the Force Awakens, I remember they basically said they released one of the last trailers on Jimmy Kimmel or something, and then that was when they said tickets go on sale tomorrow. And then again, Cineplex was cute about it, and I don't think they went on sale until like 2:00 in the afternoon or something. But it was very much. They didn't tell everybody hit our website at exactly this time because they know that it's going to crash.
Sure.
I mean, you don't want to create a website designed just because once every year there's going to be a movie that's everybody and their dog's going to want to get tickets for.
That is a massively multiplayer game crashes on launch day.
Exactly.
Because you can't prepare for that.
Right. You cannot pay for a system you cannot say, okay, we'll make this system deal with 1 million simultaneous users, even though 99.9% of the time it's going to be 12 users.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm predicting site crashes all day.
Yeah. No doubt.
Or I've had tickets before where I bought tickets for a show and then it didn't exist. For Godzilla's first showing, they nerfed the 7:00 show in favor of a free screening. And
I think there was technical issues.
No, that was different. That was in advance of the actual on sale date. They had sold tickets for the 7:00 show and then quickly pulled it. But of course, being a hyper nerd, I was on there for that 7:00 show, and then
so you had tickets for a show that didn't exist.
And they didn't. I did, and then they didn't inform me of that. It was only because I'm a hyper nerd that I noticed that this show no longer existed. Then I finally said, "Hey guys, what the fuck?" And they went, "Oh shit, our bad. Here are free tickets for the movie." And I ended up still seeing it early because I'm again a hyper nerd. But anyway, I just I don't like the idea of this. And now, of course, what's the next thing that comes out of the conversation? Scalping. People are going to get on this fucking site and they're going to get tickets and they're going to flip them on goddamn Craigslist or whatever. Yeah, StubHub. Jesus Christ. The idea of StubHub connecting with Cineplex is horrifying.
I don't know what StubHub is.
It's a reseller for concert tickets. Usually.
Ticketmaster owns it. They fucking own StubHub now. StubHub started as its own company and then they went,
what do we got to lose?
Yeah, exactly. Hell, let's just resell our own tickets. What the fuck? So now this is what's going to happen is you're going to have speculators buying tickets for this fucking movie, and now we're going to have to fight with fucking scalpers for fucking movie tickets instead of just concert tickets, which is insane enough at this stage of the day. So I am not happy about this situation. I am very fucking wound up. And you know what? In the end, most people are just going to go see a normal show, and that's fine. Of course it's fucking fine.
I'm not going to give Andrew a second coffee.
And
no more coffee.
I'm still getting more coffee. But the IMAX 3D is the fucking gold standard, and as well it should be, and it's fantastic. Fucking Doctor I'm swearing too much lately.
It's an adult.
I'm gonna I'm gonna dial it back a little bit. I apologize, ladies and sensitive people.
You're also beating the shit out of Kevin.
I'm getting Italian up in here.
The audio podcast
shout out to the Italians.
The audio podcast listeners are gonna go, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, keep hitting stuff.
So that's why you gotta look at the video to know why Andrew's beating the shit out of the table.
So anyway, I'm terrified of a world where we have to fight scalpers for tickets for movies. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a shit scenario.
If that's the worst thing that happens in the latter half of the year, then we're doing okay.
Yep.
Because
we'll all get to see it eventually. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. All right. So I think we'll take a quick break, and then we will be back with the Tree of Woe.
In theory.
Contemplate this on the Tree of Woe.
I've been asked to point out that my tie clip
Mm-hmm.
is a 1934, genuine 1934 Chicago World's Fair
Goddamn right.
tie clip.
You can just
You
barely see
can't
it.
see it. This is the video's crappy
Yeah,
quality.
that
You
was the
can't-
debut of the
But-
Chicago-style hot dog.
It's true.
With,
I thought it was the Chicago style.
That's where they invented
pizza.
baseball.
That was onions, mustard, and pickles, and
I thought it was when they invented the deep dish pizza.
Dilsey? No,
They invented
no.
the hot dog pizza.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's been done.
All right.
All right.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
Yes.
what have we been playing?
Oh well.
I don't care who starts. That's Andrew starts
All
because
right.
he went.
Here's the Tree of Woe begins on Black Friday.
Let's lay out a story.
yeah, let's
Oh,
tell a
God.
story. All right, so
You may want to end the video now.
well, no, okay. So I bought a PS4 Pro, as we all know, and I
Yes.
haven't really dug into it because subconsciously I'm like, I need 4K. So I'm like, all right, Black Friday's coming up. I'm looking for televisions. So 4K TVs have gotten very fucking cheap, like dirt cheap. Like they're throwing them out like candy, but they're not good 4K TVs. They're like for $400 you can get a 45-inch or 40-inch 4K television. It's ridiculous. But
It plays every other frame of your game.
This is it. I'm sure there's a huge input lag that people aren't really. The input lag, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, is something you should absolutely be thinking about if you are considering going into the 4K gaming world, because almost all 4K televisions have very shitty input lag, which is to say that the precision, like you press a button and the game responds, or the game responds immediately, but you don't see it.
The perception of the game responding
Precisely.
is almost a full second in some cases.
Not that bad. It's not that bad, but it's you know, in PC gaming, for instance, 5 milliseconds is considered to be about the top of where you really want to be for response time. For televisions, it tends to be around 30, which is fine. Again, for console gaming, almost
you can
nobody's
get
got any
15.
issue. You can, but I mean, for most
Yeah.
televisions, it's around 30.
30 milliseconds.
A lot of 4K televisions that people are buying, it's upwards of 120 milliseconds, and that starts to affect things, and you start to feel a weird disconnect.
Yeah.
Thank you, exactly. So, and it's something I had not considered originally when it came to 4K gaming. So, digging deep, I discovered, obviously, I opened up this whole can of worms about that. So it became a question of, all right, well, how much am I going to need? And also, the next element is HDR. Now, HDR I've talked about briefly before, and it's something that a lot of people aren't necessarily going to notice, and it's something that I myself have barely seen just in demos at stores with televisions, because
Even in computer games, which have had them since Half-Life Episode 2,
yeah,
there's been HDR technology.
Yeah.
It's never brought to the forefront, and if it is used, it's used in a way that you don't notice
it's subtle, and its colors pop
There
more,
are-
and there's
there
more
are
detail and
hardly-
shadows and stuff like that.
There's hardly any computer monitors that do HDR.
Yeah, and this is it. And so with television, when they're finally offering HDR, there's also a couple of different flavors of HDR. And I will quickly mention that Dolby Vision is one that gets thrown around a lot, but Dolby Vision is, let's just say the technology is looking way forward and nothing exists that can really use it yet. So right now, if you see HDR10, that's generally the happy zone. Okay. Everybody supports HDR10. Almost nobody supports Dolby Vision. So, and and you're not screwed. Like if you buy a TV that doesn't have Dolby Vision, you're fine. And the only ones that play Dolby Vision right now are things like the LG OLED televisions, which are upwards of $4,000 or $5,000. Now, the one I'd focused on is the Samsung 8000 series, the 65-inch, which is a fantastic television. But for whatever goddamn reason, you look it up on B&H Photo, for instance, in the States, and it has been as low as $1,300 American. If you walked into Best Buy to purchase that television, it was $3,300.
Holy.
That's a bit of a differential.
What the fuck, right? I mean, that's insane. Now, Black Friday pricing, the lowest I was seeing in Toronto was in the $2,800 range. And I can't do it. I couldn't. I had told myself, look, $2,500 and I'll do it. I'll pull the trigger on that. And then as the skies open, and one of my coworkers, it turns out her husband works at Samsung. So, and she had said, "Oh, if anybody's looking for a TV, let me know." Not to like the entire school. It was basically
my
just,
husband, Doug Samsung.
yeah, exactly. Not just Samsung, but Samsung Television.
Okay, we're gonna, Johnny, to be out back at 4:30. We're gonna pull up in a van.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out while we're doing 40s. You want to catch it before it hits the ground.
Password is swordfish.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, luckily a friend at work was able to basically hook me up, and I'm not going to say what I'm paid for it, but let's just say it was basically closer to the fucking American price and way less than what it's selling for in Canada.
So $1,300 US is about $1,780 Canadian.
Yeah.
That's pretty much exactly what it was.
He just did the math. I saw him reach.
Yeah.
No, I was
true.
on xe.com. I wanted to see what 1,300 American was in Canadian.
Yeah. So and again, I don't understand why the Canadian pricing is so ridiculously high, especially for this television.
They can get
it's
it.
beautiful. I have not got it yet. For the record, I just purchased it.
What?
And I haven't actually physically taken ownership of it. But the one that was on display in Best Buy was
What is the
gorgeous.
the input?
Like 30.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
fantastic.
the
It's one of the best rated for input lag.
So,
if you're looking for a site that actually has really, really good reviews, when I saw it on Google, I thought, oh, this is one of those bullshit sites that just makes up shit and gets attention for it. Rtings.com, RTINGS.com, has super in-depth breakdowns of televisions. Like they go through everything. It's overwhelming how much detail they go into. And it's a really, really strong resource. So that's rtings.com. And
It's already in the show notes.
Perfect. And it's so if you are looking for a television, depending on what size, again, I wanted 65-inch. I've currently got a 60-inch plasma, so I could go up to 65. I figured higher than that was really pushing it, especially at the cost level. So now I'm finally going to be able to really dive in. So I saved all that money. So I said to myself, well, shit. If I've saved all this money, then I've got to also get an Ultra 4K HD player to play movies and stuff. So of course the only option for that is Samsung has their own player, which is $400, or the Xbox One S, which also has a player on it.
Yes.
So I took advantage of Black Friday.
That's pretty good.
Is this why I saw you as logged in on
That is
the Xbox
That is
20 hours ago?
exactly why you
Yeah.
saw that.
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't think we're friends on Xbox.
We're not,
Live
but we
yet.
I mean,
that's
that's
going to
fixed,
change.
but it means we all have the same.
That means we
console.
all have an Xbox One now. Yes.
The only thing that hasn't gone on sale this Black Friday is goddamn Diablo 3.
I know. I know.
So yeah, I finally jumped back into Microsoft World in that respect. So it was $300 at the Microsoft Store. It included a game of my choice, which I ended up grabbing the Gears of War collection, which is with the remastered version of the first one, because I never really got around to playing it on the 360. And it also came with a $50 Microsoft Store credit.
Oh,
so
that's not bad.
I thought I could use it on the Xbox Store, but it turned out that I can't. So I ended up having to pay cash like a sucker, or credit like a sucker. And so I bought Inside. I bought the Rare Replay set, which was like $9.90. Like, sure, why the fuck not? And Ori and the Blind Forest, which I'd never got around to picking
It's supposed to be fantastic.
Yeah, and each of those was like $10. So so now I can officially go for an Xbox title if need be. But my primary gaming system will still be the Pro, obviously, because that's the one that's pushing the 4K. And that's what I'm going to lose my goddamn mind over for the next month. So by the time we get to the next podcast, I'll be able to go into detail. Also, you know what this means?
What?
4K screening of Pacific Rim in
Nice.
HDR on a 65-inch motherfucking TV.
Okay, let's. Hey, I have an idea. Let's do that.
Right.
Dun, dun,
Right
dun, 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 dun,
Do you also have the latest Mad Max in 4K?
That also will be on the pile. Yes. Now here's the thing. So I bought a couple of 4K movies just because I had to prime the pump. And yes, of course, Netflix has stuff. I don't know how many 4K movies they have. Obviously, all their new shows are presented in 4K.
Yeah, that's a good
but
question. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if we got a lot of that, but that's fine. That can wait. All this stuff is coming. It's all just a matter of time. I picked up a couple of relatively cheap titles. The cheapest they got right now is $18.99. I picked up Lucy, which is supposed to be a benchmark title for. I liked the film. A lot of people didn't enjoy it. It's fun. It's a goofy movie. It looks amazing. So I'm very excited to see
Scarlett
it.
Johansson?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Luc Besson.
Yeah.
I picked up Oblivion, which people wouldn't give a chance because it's a Tom Cruise film, but I thought it was gorgeous. It's from the guy who directed Tron Legacy made it.
Really?
Yeah, it was an IMAX. I really
Speaking
enjoyed
of Tron
it.
Legacy, is that going to get a 4K?
No, Disney's not on board yet.
Disney.
Fucking Disney. Come on, guys. There's not everybody's on board with the 4K stuff.
I'll go talk to him
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
give him a taste.
Get Bob Iger on the phone.
That's right. That's right.
And,
Get him on Skype.
I'll go talk
Get
to
him to call in.
and I also picked up Deadpool because that was on sale.
Oh, nice.
And Pineapple Express, which I loved, and evidently it's a beautiful 4K transfer. So
Really?
So the floodgates are open. Now, unfortunately, most of their titles are still in the $35 to $40 range. Unfortunately, Pacific Rim and Mad Max are.
Is there
in that range,
a 4K print of Blade Runner? Because they
Nope.
did all that restoration.
They will almost certainly have one, and this is the other thing, is it's really opened up this whole kettle of fish about what is 4K and what isn't, because they keep saying how movies are being shot in 2K. If I know they said one of them I was looking at was shot in the 2.6K on the Ari, and then upconverted. And almost all of these are upconverted, obviously, unless it's a CG film like Angry Birds, which I guess looks incredible, but I'm not buying fucking Angry Birds.
Thank Christ.
So that's a whole thing about the mastering issue, but I'm very excited about the ones that they really do go all out on, like a nice 4K. I know there's a 4K transfer of Jaws, which eventually has to come out.
All right.
It's a movie called Samsara, which is this beautiful documentary style capturing life. Same guy who did Baraka, if you've ever seen that.
Is Criterion doing any 4K?
They will eventually have to go 4K because that's the kind of world. And a lot of the stuff that they've been mastering recently has been 4K. So I mean, I just picked up the Del Toro's Trilogia on Blu-ray on the Criterion set, which is his 3 Spanish language films: Kronos, Devil's Backbone, and Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes,
phenomenal, beautiful set. And again, it's Blu-ray, which is fine. Nobody's gonna hate on Blu-ray at this point, but
I am.
And it's interesting reading Blu-ray.com. Blue-ray.com is the main site for proper reviews of the Blu-ray of the 4Ks and the Blu-rays, and they're very aggressive in their reviews of it. They are not giving 4K a pass by any means. They're very aggressively comparing it to the 1080 version, and some of them have been found wanting. Warcraft, evidently, the 4K version of that, the colors are muted for some reason. So instead of going the proper HDR and having everything pop, for whatever reason, the 4K, it's almost like they screwed it up and turned it down.
Did they scream at the Blu-ray version of Princess Bride that came out that was basically just a dump of the DVD version?
This is it.
They literally just pressed the DVD version on Blu-ray. There wasn't any up conversion or anything.
Oh man.
Even the menus were all ripped straight from the DVD.
It's interesting. I mean, it's easy for them to get lazy, and luckily there are sites that are still properly reviewing them and calling them out on it. So it's important.
This is why we need nerds.
It's important not to pre-order stuff too. I mean, I saw Arrival last week, which is a great film, and they're already pre-ordering the 4K version, and it's a very dark film. And I saw it at the VIP at Young and Dundas, and it's not 3D or anything, but it still is a very, very dark film. A lot of morning light and dark rooms and stuff, and I was very surprised how muted it looked for that. And obviously that was a choice that they made for the look of it.
Sure.
But so I'm curious how the 4K version will look. So anyway, that's a whole thing with this whole what was shot in 4K, what's being presented in 4K, what's being properly converted. Obviously, it would be amazing to have all the Marvel films in 4K and Disney Pixar stuff in 4K. I mean, it could be incredible, but also none of this could happen. It could, from moving forward, as I say, all of the stuff Netflix produces is 4K. So there's obviously going to be content, but to get back to the core of it, I'm very excited about firing up the Call of Duty game. Watch Dogs 2 supports 4K. Motherfucking Final Fantasy 15 comes out on Tuesday, and that is a tricky one because here's one of the first battles. 1080p at 60 frames a second or 4K at 30 frames a second.
Yeah.
That is a tough call. That is a very tough call.
Yeah, it depends on the game.
Yeah, exactly. And for a game like that, I might go with the 4K, but on the other hand, I do love me some 60 FPS. So, and this is where we are now, is we have to start making these decisions for these big games.
So speaking of Watch Dogs, guess what I've been playing?
I think you've been playing Watch Dogs 2.
I've been playing a lot of Watch Dogs 2.
I am disappointed it's no longer an uncle simulator.
Yeah, I guess that's a good
bitter, angry uncle.
But yeah, my asshole uncle. Right.
So Watch Dogs. It happened.
Yeah.
Sure did.
So either they needed to wait another year until they sanded the "It's My Dead Daughter" off of the "It's My Dead Niece" game.
Yeah.
Or they needed to kind of go back to roots and rewrite from the ground up. Because
guess what they did?
What they had was so painfully obvious. It's my daughter. but they just re-recorded niece over every time he said daughter. And it fell flat.
Yeah.
He was a sociopath for no reason.
Yeah.
And
but the core gameplay was so cool.
it had cool elements.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was a grind.
Yeah, a lot of the core ideas were cool. The implementation was not. So
the influence of Assassin's Creed was huge.
Honestly thought it wasn't getting a sequel because it was so rough in just about every area that I didn't think either Ubisoft would give it another shot or the gaming public would give it another shot.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thankfully they have dialed it back. They rewrote everything. They went back to the drawing board, and the sequel's really good. Cool. Like surprisingly good.
Relocating is a good idea.
Relocating is good, and the fact that like they get what the problems were with the first game, and they really have fixed that. Like the first game was completely joyless. Right.
Yes, by design of the character.
You fuck over this character named Bedbug for no reason because you use his voice to make a phone call to find out what you needed. You never needed to interact with Bedbug or burn him as a person at all in the first game.
You just associated too strong with Bedbug. You clearly you saw Bedbug and you went, that's me.
Could you imagine the first game if it was about Iraq?
Yeah.
About a person of color who had been in war and come back and he was broken and he was trying to put his life back together. Like that game would have been really interesting.
So you're kind of describing Mafia 3.
Yeah.
Which is another really good game. But yes, it's so I mean I'm sure a lot of people have already read reviews and stuff, so I'm not going to go into a full review of it.
How is the San Francisco?
So I haven't never been there. I don't know, but I have been told that it is like surprisingly accurate. Of course they do the same thing they do with any of these games, and they kind of mash things together. And things but like. So the guys from Giant Bomb, for example, were talking about this, and they're located in San Francisco. Yeah. And they were saying like they could pretty much just figure out where they were going by instinct rather than having to like use GPS or anything because it's that accurate. So,
have they gotten past the everyone in Chicago is literally edgy and dark, and like every single little snippet of Chicago you found was like somebody standing over somebody else who had just died making a phone call saying, no, we can't come to the phone right now. I'm like, what the fuck, Chicago in the future?
There's a ton of humor in this. Like,
good.
In fact, most of it is, and that was part of the thing that originally I thought, oh, this is just going to be stupid. Because when you look at the marketing that came out for it, it looked like it was all, hey, it's on the internet, and we're all memed up, and this is, hey,
you guys know Anonymous, right? Yeah. We're totally on board with that.
But the thing is, and it leans into that. It goes really, really deep into that kind of thing, but it is aware of itself. It knows that it's doing that stupid, goofy stuff.
It's impressive how I mean, I'm guessing it was in development while the first one was still being finished, just on a design level, because they clearly, like you say, they learned a lot of what people didn't like about it, and they addressed it.
If they didn't learn any lessons, it would have been a terrible game.
So an example of the whole like we get the joke thing is like in one of the first missions. They so the hacker crew that gets together, they're like, hey, the new trailer dropped for Cyber Driver, right? It's this movie that they're all waiting for, starring this like Tom Cruise-esque figure it's really just Knight Rider, right? So they watch it and they're complaining, oh fuck man, real hackers aren't like that. This is some stupid Hollywood shit. They don't understand us at all. Let's fuck them over, right? So it's like suddenly it's like, oh. Yeah, okay, no, we get it. We know that real hackers aren't like this. We know
that. Do you actually get to watch the trailer for Cyber Driver?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I love this.
You get to steal the fucking car.
I love the scene in Boiler Room where...
Spoilers.
No, the movie Boiler Room, which came out in 2000.
I gave a spoiler.
It was there's a scene where they're watching Wall Street, because it's about guys selling the fake derivatives or whatever, and they're basically just quoting along with it.
Yeah,
they're sitting in the room, and I've been there when I was in Air Cadets and we were at summer camp. We had Top Gun on the screen, and some of these nerds were just word for word going along with it. It was just hilarious to me. Like, you guys really think you're gonna fly fighter jets? That's adorable. But the fact that hackers would sit there and shit on a hacker movie is perfect.
It's and since that's one of the first missions, it's like they're intentionally going, yes, we know we're doing stupid over the top parody stuff. That's what this is, and as soon as they do that, you're totally okay with the whole thing. It's everything else,
but they don't go GTA 5 level on it. It's a little more muted than that from what I've seen, because GTA 5 is very over the top in their parody.
So Yeah, but it's not an obnoxious parody. It's clearly a loving parody.
There you go.
Know what I mean?
That's
like,
it.
Yeah.
Whereas GTA 5 is like, everything's stupid except us.
That's the whole thing. The heart of the game is very good. It's very...
how far are you in the story?
So I don't know. That's one of the things I can't figure out how to tell how far.
They don't give you the straight up percentage?
I know there is somewhere. In fact, I remember reading on the subreddit, this is where you find where your progress percentage is. I can't find it.
That's fine. You're playing it. That's the key.
What platform are you playing it on?
PS4.
Okay.
I had kind of decided that PS4 is kind of my main platform just because of all the VR stuff is happening there. And I have a plan for getting a Pro. So
have you tried the online element yet?
I have. It launched without the online element. So it launched without the seamless online element.
Right.
You could still invite people, but the stuff where it's just people can jump into your world and hack you, or you can do that to other people, only launched a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't know it was going to launch, and I was playing, and suddenly I'm like, "You are being hacked by an invasion," and it's like, "What? Huh? What's going on?" So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's similar to the last
network
one.
jack out of the wall.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
It's really worth it. I mean, the characters are. I keep coming back to our cartoon, which is going to be completely irrelevant because it has to be released.
Shout out to Operation Pug.
In that, the group dynamic is really cool, and even the characters that you start out thinking, "Oh fuck, seriously," they end up being endearing, and that the writing is really, really strong.
I like that you don't go through character creation. Here is the person you are playing, because we're trying to tell a story, and it's a story about a character, and we can't do that if you're you.
Yeah.
And because sometimes people get angry, they've come to a point where they kind of expect a character creation and everything,
and that's usually a bit of a stumbling block for me because being such an RPG guy, I like creating my own character. I don't feel like I kind of own the character unless I do that. But they've got a compromise.
Yes, they
have a lot more fashions in this game.
Sure,
you don't have to wear a baseball cap.
It's not on Watch Dogs. This game is dead to me now.
I posted a screenshot of my character the other day. He's full dandy,
suit,
bow tie, fedora.
I wish I could pull off that fucking jacket he wore in the first one, though.
That was a nice jacket.
Badass jacket.
Yeah. Pretty good jacket. Now, the only problem is there's a real... Now, all open world games like this have this kind of a dichotomy between what the plot is and what you're supposed to be doing in the game, and then what you can actually do, in the world.
Here are these 7 million diversions.
So you are in this world. You are clearly a hero, right? You are one of the good guys. You're one of the good hackers. You're not even a white hat hacker. You're fighting for the people, and then all the shit you do in the world is all the stuff you complain about other people doing, hacking their shit and controlling people.
Yeah, there's a little hypocrisy going on there.
So it's real weird. It's hey, we're the good guys. See my cool 3D printed machine gun, right? One of the ways that I have found to make it a lot more enjoyable is you can choose to go non-lethal, right? Because your default gun is a stun gun, and you can get stun weapons and things like that. So you can.
What every animation isn't you snapping someone's neck with a baton.
So he does have a melee attack. It's actually a yo-yo that he uses.
That thing was cool. Yeah, I saw that in the launch time.
And so you can try and go non-lethal. Now, I'm having some problems with the non-lethal thing, only because, and this is like every other open world game, it's really easy to kill people by accident.
You shock somebody and they fall I'm
driving a car, and because I'm driving a car in a video game, I'm not exactly highly accurate, and so I nick somebody on the sidewalk and they immediately fall down dead, right?
And it's as long as you're not immediately punished for it. I mean, in some games you get
this,
the
you're not. It's this is one of the most alive open world games I've ever seen. The NPCs, if somebody that happens,
they're not just there as mobile cash points.
No, they're not. They're they stand around. They're oh my god, and then somebody will call an ambulance, and then an ambulance will show up.
You had posted something you were sitting at a light and somebody ran into somebody else, and
stuff will happen completely opposite of the player. I have nothing to do with it. So I was just standing there, and two people had got into a fight. And this will happen. People will just have little interactions. So they got to a fist fight, and then the cops were called, and then shots started to be fired, and it just escalated and escalated to the point that all of these cars, they caused a traffic jam. So there was 5 cars all jumped up in a row, and then all of the cars exploded.
Jeez. Right? And you're just sitting there hacking the cops' phones.
So and then there's nobody else around. and there was like all the NPCs in the vicinity just got killed from the explosion. So I just walk through and there's just like charred bodies everywhere. So I'm just like stealing their bank account because
Screw it.
What
Right?
are they
don't need
what are
them.
they gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
That's
I'm
just
ethical.
fun. That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, highly recommend it. So if you can get past the kind of weird dichotomy of what you're doing versus what your story is telling you should be doing. Like that's the thing. Like I don't do firearms at all. Like I only use my stun gun and melee attacks and my robots.
And it's more satisfying if you can give yourself a limitation like that.
And it really just fit the character more. And it's more of a challenge. Like it's harder. It's harder. You couldn't just go in guns blazing and make it super easy.
But the games have made it just too easy to kill people.
Well, that's
it's very difficult to kill a person.
The NPCs weren't made of paper. Like it's so unbelievably easy to kill people.
You break a guy's
accident.
neck in a video game. It's just a matter of pressing X and you snap a guy's neck. In real life, it takes a lot more work.
Let's see.
Well,
exactly.
Sure.
No, try it sometime,
That's
kids.
what I've been playing. So Jamie.
Good night, everybody.
So what I see Fallout 3 and Minecraft.
So let me take you back to 2008. It was 2008 that Fallout 3 came out.
Is it really?
God.
It was.
You were
I
just a
had
glint in the milkman's eye.
I really identified with the first teaser trailer, which was basically the opening for Fallout 3, where they start in the burned out bus. The radio comes to life and starts playing I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire by the Ink Spots. And then pulls back through the ruined bus to the ruined DC wasteland to the Brotherhood of Steel guy standing there on patrol.
War never changes.
I've got that soundbite somewhere here.
You got it mashed up.
I've got it mashed up with Star Wars.
That's right. That trailer hit me like a ton of bricks. I spent a ton of my DOS gaming time with Fallout and Fallout 2.
And they were calling their shot with that trailer too.
It was programmed. It was going to hit me right in the nostalgia point.
Yeah.
So I had fairly recently just picked up an Xbox 360, so I picked up Fallout 3 for it. And I played probably 600 hours
Jesus.
of Fallout 3.
That's pretty good.
I beat the game. I beat the game again. I played through a third time but stopped. And then I got all the DLC from my sister and brother-in-law because they got the Game of the Year edition that had it all on a disc.
Oh, yeah.
And I installed it on my 360.
Oh,
You're not supposed to admit
you're terrible.
Because there was no way of preventing you from doing that.
Sweet baby Jesus, you're going to jail.
This is terrible podcast.
So I played through again and I did all the DLC. And then I played through again, and I got every single achievement in the game.
He played as a girl.
I think almost all my playthroughs. No, my first one was a dude, and every other one was a girl.
He just liked to look at her butt.
No, I usually play in first person. I don't even look.
That's true.
That's such a trope.
It really is.
No, you know what the reason is? You get the Black Widow perk, which makes you do 10% more damage to men, and the NPCs are overwhelmingly men.
Yeah.
So you do 10% more damage to 90% of the people you encounter.
That reminds me of my. Sorry to drag it back to Watch Dogs 2. That just you reminded me of something. The only thing that's actually pissed me off about the game, multiplayer, because you choose an avatar for multiplayer. No female.
That's surprising.
Come on, Ubisoft. We've been down this road before.
Maybe some of them are women, and you just can't tell.
No, they're clearly. Maybe they're transgender.
So
that's what I mean.
I played in a ridiculous amount of Fallout 4 or Fallout 3. I have every single achievement in the game. Then I got it for the PC and I played it a bunch of times on the PC, and then it stopped working reliably on the PC because Game for Windows Live flaked out. Then they gutted that. Yeah. But it doesn't like the Gamebryo engine does not like multiple cores per CPU. There are ways around
so
it,
many cores?
but it is not reliable. The best way to play it, best way to play it on the PC is to get Fallout New Vegas. It's $5 everywhere on every sale. Pick up Fallout New Vegas, which works on modern computers, and get Tale of Two Wastelands, which is a mod for it that you install all of the Fallout 3 assets in it, and it will let you play Fallout 3 through to the ending and then switch to New Vegas. And it even kind of gives you some, like, it can bring your character look through. Cool. So, like, your character got tired of the DC Wasteland, went out to the Mojave, and became a courier. Cool. So it gives you a kind of a path through it. The Black Friday sale started a week early for Xbox Live people, and they had Fallout 3 for $5. And I'm like,
the complete.
No, just the Fallout 3.
And this is backwards compatible?
This is the backwards compatibility, downloadable. Right. I have the disc at home, but I don't have any of the DLC.
Sure.
And I have yet to insert a disc in my Xbox One. It just feels dirty.
Yeah,
it
feels weird.
I don't want to do that. Like, I want to play a different game. I have to get up and do something.
Yeah.
That is bullshit. So I went and got that. Apparently, 2 pieces of DLC were actually associated with my account, so I had to pick up 2 more to fill the thing. And then Fallout New Vegas was cheap, and the DLC was cheap, so I picked up those 2. And then just the other day, they put Fallout 4 on really cheap for that. And I'm like, okay, fine. It's all on the Xbox. Now I can sit down and I can play them all back to back to back to back. Because I played through New Vegas, but I never played the DLC. Something shiny had come out at that point in time, and I hadn't moved on to the DLC, which is apparently really good in New Vegas.
Right.
And then I'll get to Fallout 4 and finish that, because I got distracted from that as well. But I've been sitting down, and I've been putting just a ton of time into Fallout 3 so far, just doing what I want to do. I'm not following the guide saying, do this, then this, then this. I'm doing what I remembered I'd like to do, and then just going through and seeing how the Wasteland goes, and it is still a ton of fun.
Nice.
Some people hate on the Gamebryo engine. Some people hate on the green wash. Some people hate on the low poly buildings and stuff. It still feels really alive.
Well, God, when it came out, it was massive. I mean, it was just jaw-dropping how amazing it was.
And I always loved interacting with things. I have found a place that I have never found before because it's completely side quest. It's not related to any of your main quests. There was never a quest to go to this place. There's no achievements associated with it. Like, I never ended up here. If you go to the Arlington Cemetery, where there is a bobblehead that you need to get for your perfect stats, if you go all the way to the back, there is a food warehouse or food factory, and it is a front for the Chinese invasion of the states. And if you go through there are all these ghouls that speak Chinese that attack you because they were, insurgents sitting here waiting for them to get activated, and the war happened, and they all got turned into ghouls. So it's this crazy place that has like backstory. There's a radio station that plays while you're there telling you to surrender all the Americans that have been subjugated by war. And it was this whole thing, and I've never encountered it before.
Bethesda's super good at doing that kind of thing, like in all of their games.
I have spent literally 600 hours in this game, and I have never been to this particular location. I've never seen this stuff. And I'm like, how is it possible that this game at this point in time that I have put so many hours into can even surprise me with something like that?
Yep.
I was really surprised.
So what's this Minecraft thing?
The other thing is, okay, so I bought Minecraft.
I'm looking at the show notes with wide eyes, and
I bought Minecraft ages ago, and I played it solo in survival mode. And, I built like tree houses, and I delved to the depths, and it was fun. And then I just stopped playing it because, okay, I built a tree house that was about 3 kilometers long, and I have literally bored to the center of the earth.
What more could there possibly be?
And then recently, some fellows have started up Minecraft Realms, Lolo de Puzlo and Real Soviet Bear. Scumcordia, yep.
Who decided that I was going to wear a straight tie and not a bow tie tonight.
Did they? Were they giving you the feedback?
I posed the question.
Nice. Well,
there is a distinct anti-bow tie sentiment on your Discord server.
I can't speak
I think
for this.
As the glorious leader, you need to have some
I'm gonna give everyone a bow tie role that they have to live with now.
I'm down with that.
Bow ties are cool.
Everyone's gonna become a bow tie dandy. That's gonna be what.
Shout out to Doctor Who. Shout out to Matt Smith.
Invisible.
Shout out to Karen
Why are we shouting out? Why?
Because we have video now. We have a shout out.
All right.
But Lolo has a realm, and Real Soviet Bear has one with another game designer, and they both just opened it up recently for a few people. And it's really like going back in and playing in like a multiplayer environment where everyone's got their own little spot. In Lolo's one, I decided I found a vein of coal early on in a part of a mountain, and I just started mining in there. And then I'm like, well, this is a good place to weather the night where the hell horrors are. So I put a door on it, and I put some walls up around it, and I said, okay, I'll wait here until the hideous night is over. And then I started making it bigger and bigger. And I'm like, you know what would be nice is some glass walls to let the light in during the day so I know when night is over. So I put these little glass walls in. They're like, what if I were to cut out the entire...
I'm fucked.
What if I were to cut out the entire middle of this mountain and replace it with one glass wall all the way around it, following the circumference of the mountain? Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not quite halfway through the mountain, but
Jesus,
I'm not quite halfway through the mountain.
I don't give reference to them very often, but Penny Arcade fucking nailed it when that came out. When Minecraft first came out, and Gabe's like, "All right, I don't see what the big deal is." Like, okay, so I cut down this tree. Oh, okay, so now I got some wood. Okay, so now I can build something. Oh no, that was basically the gag. It was just, oh no. And that was it.
So I've chewed through about a third of a mountain and replaced it with a glass wall all the way around.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
And I want to saw through the entirety of the mountain. Like, and this is one of these weird biomes that has a mountain that goes up and then it gets wider at the top. So I chose the kind of, maybe
Mesa.
10 feet.
I kind of want somebody to explain how Minecraft owns the soul of so many young children.
It's Lego. It's Lego to them.
Yeah.
I guess it must be.
They can go in and they can do whatever they want. A lot of them play in creative mode. They don't even play in survival.
I hope so.
And a lot of them just build stuff. They just want to see
Which is
something.
really cool. I think that's a really...
You can build a full computer with the redstone add-on.
If you're a kid and you're into it and it's firing your imagination, that's cool. If you're building giant memes for people to go through on roller coasters, all right, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to
something to do.
Yeah, I guess if they're going to do evil things.
But I mean, it's soaked up more time than I was expecting it to. For something that I thought I had done and moved on from. I have been spending more time than I really thought I would.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that fucking game.
But I mean. Realms are about $10 a month for like 11 people to be on, and it's hosted by Minecraft.
Sure.
It's a brilliant move on their part.
It's
keep it simple but regular, and the money that they have made is just
the nice thing is
insane.
If we all do our thing and they were like, okay, done, you just stop. Like
stop paying.
Who cares if you have to go back and start doing it again? I mean, if the mystery or whatever, I decided I wanted to saw another mountain in half. Maybe I'll do it vertically this time. I can just do it again. Like, it's not like all that work meant something. So
sure. All right. So I think we're gonna wrap it up with our final segment. We're gonna pick our personal game of the year. We've only got 15 minutes.
That's fine.
So who wants to start?
Kevin.
What? Oh shit. I guess I never start. So.
Nope.
All right.
This is the mix-up one.
Okay.
The mix-up cast.
So I don't know. I messaged you guys yesterday. I don't know if you got it.
I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
Good.
I thought about it, but I don't know if I picked anything.
Yeah. It's actually, well, this is the thing. It's been such a good year for games.
And I wouldn't even say that you have to say something that came out this year. So whatever you played.
So yeah, what was your game of the year? It wasn't necessarily the game of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Personal. For time sunk into it.
It's a tough one. So I think I've nailed it down. Let's do game of the year and runner up. Let's make it a bit easier.
Okay.
Right. So I think my runner up. Let's do runner up first.
Okay.
So I think probably the runner up is Overwatch, because it was such a surprise that it was so as good as it is. And although I kind of fell off it, I've actually gone back to it a little bit. It's still everything about that game was so high quality and so well done, and the attitude was so good, and the community is really good. Just everything about it is so solid. I think it's a really good example of the kind of good that gaming can do in general. Just from every aspect, from the design work to the writing to the quality of the engineering in the game, everything about it is top notch. So that's my runner up. But if I had to choose, I think the one game I've spent the most time with this year has probably been Elder Scrolls Online, which is a bit of a surprise because I never really liked the Elder Scrolls game. And I talked about this in a previous podcast about how I've kind of gone back into Elder Scrolls Online. But I've been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. And it's so nice to have a full-fledged MMO that you can just sit with a controller on the couch, right? Because I'm always going to have an MMO that I'm playing. And this has been the one this year. It's been Elder Scrolls Online, and they've done really well. Like their latest patch has been super good, and the community is really active and friendly, and it's a good time. It's a good MMO.
Counterpoint. Last week that was free.
Yes,
and I installed it, and now I had played the beta, so the setup was the same. It was this: you wake up in the dungeon and you go through all that, and then I'm like, all right, well, this is going pretty much the same as last time. And then it got to the second, like once you're outside of the prison and you're running and you got to kill the guards or something, and it's like, go kill a guard. I'm like, okay, and it's telling me to go to this area, and I go up and I'm like, well, there's nothing fucking here, and I realized that there was a lot of other people running around, and there was a lot of people waiting to kill a fucking guard, and I'm like, oh, spawn camping, delete. Now this was, again, I understand. It was free weekend. A lot of people were firing up for the first time.
What? You don't like MMOs.
That's it. I've had issues with
MMOs. That's what an MMO is.
That's the one thing since day fucking one on MMOs that I cannot stand is the spawn camping. And when I hit spawn camping at the beginning of the tutorial for the game, and again, I appreciate 100% that it was a busy weekend and it was a whole bunch of noobs running around trying to do this thing. But yeah, I mean, no, and I might try it again down the road.
You know, you're missing out.
I know you're right. You're right. And but as soon as I see spawn camping, I run away screaming.
Shades of Hogger.
It's so rare,
and I feel like I am missing out because I know you're really enjoying it, and I know there's a lot going on, and it's nice to have a console.
So counterpoint to the spawn camping.
Yes.
Counterpoint.
Yes.
They have partly solved the problem of spawn camping in that as long as you participate in the fight, you don't have to be grouped with anybody. You don't have to as long as you get a hit in, you will get credit.
And because they were dying so quickly, I couldn't even get a hit in at this point. Yeah. So anyway, that's fine. I'm not negating it. I'm just saying personally.
You just did.
No, because I didn't play it. I stuck my foot in the water and a crab bit my toe and I said, fuck this water in particular.
It's got the 4K patch.
That's true. Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess because of the PC world. Okay, cool. Jamie, what's your...
I was going to call you, damn it. So I cannot go by most time played.
Sure.
Because that is Overwatch, and I'm currently really pissed at Overwatch. In that I cannot even eke out 10 minutes of fun in that game anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
That's a real turnaround.
So I appreciate that it's on your list, but it is not on my list.
But you had a hell of a run before it started pissing you off.
But you know what? There was a long gray period where I was playing it, but I wasn't really experiencing it.
I call that the EverQuest trajectory.
It was like a fugue. It happened. I played many hours of it.
There's so many games have that element.
But when I came out the other end of the fugue, it was just black. It was and I've uninstalled it. I'm not even
interesting.
Like Sombra, okay, who cares?
Good, another character that will fix everything.
So it's not. Overwatch is not. I am thinking of the games that make me feel the best when I was playing them.
Sure.
My runner-up is Doom.
Yeah.
It was almost perfect.
That was real close to being
delightful.
It was exactly what playing Doom was 20 years ago.
More than that, I think.
When I first fired it up, it was fast. It was a lot of applying shotgun to creature X, and they added verticality to it, and it didn't break the formula; it enhanced it.
Yeah, I mean when they hit the ground running on it, and they honestly started telling you a story, and had the character go, "Nope,"
rip the thing out of the wall and throw it away. I mean,
it was smart.
It was pitch perfect. It was beautiful. It looked great, and it played super fast. It was silky smooth,
and it was unexpected because nobody thought it was going to come out.
Well, that's it. That was so another like surprise. This is awesome, and it wasn't supposed to be.
And
awesome.
I mean, and they went back. They made a game, realized it wasn't fun, and threw it away.
Yeah.
And that was 100% the right decision. So it is my runner-up. I didn't spend the most time with it, but I really felt the time that I spent with it, and I think about it fairly frequently, and I will probably end up back at it.
Yeah, I still haven't finished it, but I still want to, right?
And my runner-up, no surprise, is Titanfall 2. My top one.
Nice.
It felt really good. all the way
Yeah,
through.
that's on sale right now. I'm kind of going.
They built on so much. The foundation was strong, and
there was literally nothing there for single player. It was just basically a multiplayer experience, the first one, and they said, we can offer the people a better experience in every area.
A single player experience that enhances the multiplayer. Really.
The single player, you know what? It's not the most clever single player. It is well written. The relationship between the pilot and the mech or the robot was well done. The bits they throw into platforming, like being outside of the robot, is not a hindrance. It is actually a joy.
Yeah.
Some people say getting in the robot is like submerging yourself waist deep in mud, but it's just a different thing. You're in this giant.
It's a mech.
Yeah, I know.
It's a mech.
Some people apparently
That's what it should feel like. You ever played MechWarrior 2? What's wrong?
They want it to be as fast as being on foot, but I appreciate the fact that it's a change in your tactics. You have to start looking for downed mechs to gather cores because you're going to be taking damage because you're not going to be able to avoid it all.
Yeah,
it's frankly shocking that they dropped the price so fast. I mean, partly because of the timing of it, and they Black Friday hit, and they went, you know what, fuck it, let's just go hard.
And it's also like Call of Duty.
No, Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 both had massive discounts this week.
Yeah.
But it was great fun. I actually beat the game after last podcast. I said it was about a third of the way through, or 2/3 of the way through, and I was about right. There was another third left. The single player game doesn't overstay its welcome. But it also is replayable in that there's a lot of nice collectibles they scatter through it that are challenging to get, but they're not required. So now I'm thinking, okay, I saw a couple pilot's helmets while I was playing, and I just didn't stop to go and get them. I was in the middle of doing something. So, and I also think back to some of the platforming, and I'm really kind of wanting to do that again because they really mixed it up. So I'm giving Titanfall 2 my nod because I had a great time with it, and going from a single player campaign that did not exist to a single player campaign that was actually pretty good in a year that's had a fair amount of single player campaigns is admirable.
Nice. All right, Andrew, here you go.
Well, runner up has got to be Witcher 3, even though it came out last year. Because I've really just finally gotten into it, and it's just insane.
It kind of came into its own this year, though.
Well, the expansions too, and I haven't even hit the fucking expansions. That's the crazy thing.
Can we give a shout out to PC Gamer because they use the Geralt in the tub image every time they tweet about it?
Yeah,
and it drives people insane.
But it's just so remarkable. I mean, it's an independent company, but it's a AAA experience all the way. It's deep. There's so much going on. The gameplay it's still fun. It's not perfect, but it's a very immersive. It's a great world, solid characters, and it took me a while before I finally hit my stride in it. Now I'm trying to power through it.
Sure.
And it's really, really great, and I'm very impressed with it. And again, it like these other titles, it's built on the foundation of the games that came before it. I mean, I didn't play Witcher 2. I knew they were again decent action RPGs, but what they've created with this one is just incredible. And the world itself is just gorgeous. And it's so heartbreaking that they're not doing a 4K patch, but I get it. You guys are working on Cyberpunk.
Let them work on Cyberpunk.
Do what you gotta do, guys. Yeah. We're good at 1080p. So yes, that's my backup. And to be honest, I haven't gone through everything that I played in the last year, but offhand, my number one of the year.
But it's a gut thing.
Yeah, it's a gut thing. I gotta say Uncharted 4.
All right.
I mean, the Uncharted series has just been amazing.
It's really cool that we all have different ones.
And that is good. That is good. And again, I'm the single player guy, and that's cool. But the Uncharted games on the PS3 were just fantastic. I mean, this first one was really cool. The second one was insane. It was so mind-blowingly good and gorgeous and well told, and it moved like hell. The third one wasn't as good as the second, but that's because the second was just incredible and it was still a solid game. And this one put a cap on the whole series, and it was their first PS4 title, so of course it looked incredible. What was amazing was that it made you appreciate how incredible the second one was for looking that good on the PS3, and then for their first iteration on the PS4, of course it looked incredible, and it had a great story to it, and it had a really amazing ending too, like an epilogue that happens afterwards. It's really it's really heart touching. It's an incredibly emotional experience, and I keep meaning to pick up the collection so I can replay them on the PS4 and the enhanced versions. But Uncharted 4, it's just incredible, and I am actively looking forward to playing it again in 4K because it is one of their reference titles for what it's going to look like on the Pro. Like this is what we're doing that's going to punch it up. So the HDR is just supposed to be incredible, and the higher resolution, and I'm very excited to throw down with it again. So, and I that's probably my pick for the game of the year for me.
Nice. All right. Well, there we go. 2016.
Fucking 2016.
A great year for video games. A
Yep.
shitty year for everything
Pretty
else.
much.
Everything.
We would be remiss to not mention the PSVR though for having come out this year.
Yeah,
because
it
really has been. I mean, it's still fresh. It only just came out. Obviously, the other PC ones have been out for a while.
It hasn't hit its stride yet.
Oh Lord, no!
But it's got a really strong start.
Can I just say I bought not handball. What's it fucking called?
Hollow Ball.
Hollow Ball. It is.
I've heard good things.
This is why it was on sale. It's on sale right now. It has a very 80s interface.
It's very Tron.
And and it requires space. That's my problem. Is I really don't have a good. It says touch the controller to the floor. Fuck you.
What?
That is not going to happen where I am.
No.
And there's also been a lot of reports of people. Let's just say if you've got straps on your Move, use them because people have posted pictures of their television.
Yeah,
it's like it's Wii bowling all over again.
Yes.
Amazing.
But it's like a Tron game. It's just a simple paddle ball game. Instead of using your head, you actually have to swing the paddle.
Nothing will ever be
very
face
cool.
Face balling's pretty good.
Yeah, the one in the VR worlds is pretty slick. But
yeah.
But anyway,
the honorary mention I think to PlayStation VR because that was the real special.
I half expected you to say Res Infinite was going to be your game of the year because it was so amazing.
I finished it. I finished it and I did the Zone X thing and wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just unlocked it, so I haven't had a chance to play it for that. So I'm very excited about playing it. But
good.
It's a very intense game. I didn't realize that the boss in the fourth area, you actively have to turn around to kill it.
Yes,
Otherwise he swats you.
You can, or you can actually turn with a controller. You got to use the sticks.
I never even tried.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Because I don't have room to turn around.
I kept getting swatted. I'm like, fuck, and I turn around and there he is. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I have to turn around and beat this asshole. All right, fine.
It's like I'm in virtual reality or something.
How do you like that, bitch? Move my head around because it's head tracking. So you're you're literally going like this, trying to cycle everything.
Plays great on the
You
video.
look like a moron, but my God, it's
I'm
fun.
going to make a GIF out of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so shout out to PSVR.
Honorary mention. It's the Shoutoutcast.
Yeah.
It's now the Shoutoutcast.
It's ironic.
I'm typing in the notes. It's the Shoutoutcast. There. Okay, I spelled it wrong. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for another year.
2017 is going to be
2017 is going to be better.
Tight.
It's going to be much
hella tight.
better. Keep strong. Keep
strong.
Trucking stuff. All right. Anyway,
stock up on perishables. Shout out to Jim Baker.
and
his infinite food.
Baker buckets.
We need to get a bucket of burgers.
That's what's behind here.
Yeah.
This is the pantry.
The black bean burgers.
We've got the Baker buckets. It's all good.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Do you have a trough and a trenching shovel?
Well, we've got but
it's hot.
I got retractable ones. You hit a button. It's like a
Yeah,
transformer shovel.
Shout out to Vic Burger.
We got to end this now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks, folks.
I'm on fire.
You have been listening to the PUGCast, a podcast about tech, gaming, pop culture, and all things nerdy, as well as behind-the-scenes features on the Operation Pug web cartoon. You can find us online at www.operationpug.com, or you can send an email to podcast@operationpug.com. If you found us on iTunes, we'd appreciate a rating, and we hope you'll join us again, because nothing is more entertaining than aging nerds giving their opinions on the internet.